You walk into schools and you say, where is curiosity gone? It is like, I'm telling you, I'm teaching you, this is what needs to be done. See, there was a mad rush about scoring marks.
Yes.
Is that changed? Then came in this whole buzzword called profile building. Now every parent says, let's look at internship. Profile building, why should it be just a process to get to a university? The myth is, no, I need career guidance or college guidance experts only because I want to go international. Do we have enough coaches, career guidance experts? No.
Good evening, Prikshit. Pleasure chatting with you today. I've heard so much about you that I cannot wait to get this conversation started.
Thank you.
For everyone who does not know your body of work, which is over 2.5 decades, if you had to sum it all up, what would that be?
If I was to sum it up in just few words, last 2.5 decades, I've been a life and career coach. Been able to impact about more than 2.5 million students. Been able to train about more than 50,000 career coaches. Worked with hundreds of schools, universities. That's what I've done.
He's being very, very modest. I think if you get some bit of time with Parikshit, by the end of this interview, you're going to be convinced that this was totally worth your time. And you've got so many insights into questions about education that you always wanted answers to, but you still haven't found those answers. So it's going to be totally worth it to stay till the very end. This is a question that we get a lot on Kids Stop Press, which is your fate as a child is decided pretty much in the preschool, because it's like preschool decides your next school, and your middle school or high school decides which university you're going to, and university decides which career you're going to take. So how important is it to make the right choices in the preliminary schools or little play schools that parents are actually picking and choosing?
Tricky question. Let me share both perspectives here. So I'm often asked by parents that very early on, what board should they choose? All right. My answer is, it's not that big a deal as far as early years is concerned. And there's a very different perspective also, that depending upon the caliber or the aptitude or the cognitive development of the student, the kid, that's how you should process. But I believe doesn't matter in the early years.
Define
Slowly,
early years.
when I say early years, meaning till about when we talked about preschool, they should go to a school which is a happy place, where they're nurtured well. They're it's like they can play, they can enjoy, they can bond, and parents need to spend a lot of time. So therefore, curriculum in the initial stages is not like a deal breaker.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what I think. But there are a different set of parents who say no, right from early childhood, we should get them to study in a particular curriculum. My bet, not a big deal.
If you have to break the boards, if I put them in 3 buckets, CBSE, ICSE, IGCSE, or actually 4, and IB, tell me, break it down for our viewers.
So let's look at, for the longest period, we've always had Indian curriculum,
Yes.
right, in the country. If we look at a majority is CBSE, and then we have ICSE, and then of course
The state-
IB and state boards. Anyway, that's a big number. We're looking at about 1.5 million schools in the country. So if we see CBSE and ICSE, between them, people have preferred ICSE in many situations because of English, because of choice of subjects. But today, CBSE is also very progressive.
Right.
Then there is a whole set of parents who look at entrance exams. Now, entrance exams is where CBSE scores, because most of the entrance exams in India will be shaped on the curriculum as devised by CBSE. So that's where CBSE has an edge. When it comes to international curriculum, absolutely, if you have a student who's a thinker, researcher, loves to, is not into rote learning, has a mind of his or her own, loves to research, sit through, and says, why do I need to write the same answer in those many words, copy, paste? Then I'm sorry. If I'm making a big statement, then preferably Cambridge or IB.
Right.
Very progressive boards. I'm not saying Indian boards are not progressive, but Indian boards, just that slowly, there are few things that I've seen students lose out on curiosity.
Yeah.
For example, one big thing, you walk into schools and you say, where is curiosity gone? It is like, I'm telling you, I'm teaching you, this is what needs to be done. Then you have a blueprint, then you copy, and then you underline. It has to be just verbatim what is required, and you get marks.
Yeah.
That's where, is that still a challenge? Yes, it's still a challenge in the country. That's where international boards, they score.
Right. Right. And tell me, when you are talking of, and we spoke of this earlier, is parents are already in the rush of profile building, right? We believe that we're all our kids today are turning out to be clones of each other, whether they're following the international curriculum. And I like that smile because I'm waiting for the answer, but you feel like kids are turning out to be clones of each other, and really what will differentiate? It's not the marks. And we're also talking of a population size as huge as ours, where
Yes.
to stand out and to be distinguished is a challenge by itself, by the sheer denominator effect.
True.
Are parents rushing into the profile building, or they're justified?
You just making sure you ask me all the tricky questions, the difficult ones. So number one, see, there was a mad rush about scoring marks.
Yes.
Okay, all of them wanted to score marks. Is that changed? No, we are still in the transition. Then came in this whole buzzword called profile building. Now every parent says, let's look at internship, let's look at summer school, let's look at uh,
CAS
research projects and so on. Wow. So therefore, everyone wants to do this. It's almost like assembly line. So the whole thing about we are born different, we are all different individuals, personality, skill set, and so on. No, copy paste. Uh, Profile building, why should it be just a process to get to a university?
Yeah.
If we go back to our school time, what did we do? We would go to school, we'll study, we'll also play, we'll take part in poetry, debate, drama, we'll have picnic, we'll have cultural programs. We will kind of,
Yeah.
bond.
Yeah.
Then there'll be a teacher's day. We'll do all those
Yeah.
things. Today, the name for that is profile building.
Yeah.
But then, did we do all that just because college is going to give us marks? No, that was part of growing up.
Yeah.
That's evolution. So, therefore, profile building one, why do we look at these hobbies and interests? Because what if those hobbies and interests could be your career?
Mm-hmm.
That's one possibility. Second is, even if it's not going to be a career, but this is just help me in communication, better personality, ability to connect with people, my own evolution. Third is, of course, it can be your pathway to a great university.
Right.
Absolutely. But profile building again has to be understood well. I'm sorry, that's the stage where there's a mad rush. You're absolutely right.
Right.
Yeah.
And tell me, in your experience, you've obviously been training even career counselors and career coaches. If you had to do it, and while you are training them, how are you doing it differently?
Wow. How do we do it differently? The thing is, you need to spend quality time with a student. Now, in a school, let's say I have, say, 100 students in the outgoing class batch. How will one counselor be in a position, or a career guidance expert,
Yeah.
be in a position to give them solo time, talk to them, understand their strengths, do the SWOT analysis? Very difficult. And now it's that career counselor or coach is not just for 12th, 10th, 11th, and 9th.
Yeah.
Impossible. And that's why there is this mad rush in the country that almost every parent who can afford will have their own counselor on the side,
Right.
even though the system is there. That's where, again, that's where schools are failing to deliver. This
Right.
is This should be part and parcel of, this should be done by the school.
A question that's an obvious follow-up is that parents often feel that, do you feel like a career guidance coach knows my child better than me? Like, we're talking of this rush of psychometric tests and then the analysis of it, and then the counselors being able to spend, like you said, enough time on a one-on basis and knowing the parent. Like, how does one go about navigating this, and how do you not get sucked into the FOMO of it?
So to answer first part, do parents know the child very well? Absolutely, no doubt about it. But then you talked about assessments. Assessments help. They should be only diagnostic in nature. It cannot be, hi, I'm looking at your astrology chart. This is who you are. Thank you, boxed. No, not at all. It's just a diagnostic tool. So how does it help me? It helps me that I would, if supposing you were the student and I was in a session with you, I would ask you about 20, 30, 40 questions during I'm a very curious person, during a 1 hour session. But if I have already got a report on you, I get a direction. Probing. So you get a direction. So diagnostic tool, only that much. But is it helpful? Absolutely helpful. So that's the second part. Third, that whole FOMO thing that, oh my God, if I'm not taking counseling or outside counseling, am I missing out? Well, tricky one. Again, it's just that it's become fashionable. You remember those days when, oh, you're not studying at a coaching institute? You've not arrived. Today, oh, you don't have a personal counselor? My God, what a shame, you can't afford.
Yeah.
So therefore, is it mandatory? No. If the school has strong systems and processes in place, you can do all this.
It makes me feel almost like you said about the coaching example, that the school already has teachers, but you still did coaching. So the school has counselors, but you're still going to get a personal one.
Yes. So therefore, 3-4 things. Number one, is the school really serious about career guidance? No. If you look at, can I make a big statement? If you look at about 1.5 million schools in the country, maybe not even 2,000 schools in the country will have a full-fledged career guidance system. Not possible. But they will give huge importance to infra. But not to this important aspect. And this is, so number one. Number two, then are they trained? Are they professionally qualified? Have they really been trained? Have they worked with students? Do they understand? It's almost like going back to the corporate or MBA schools. Are they pure teachers, or do they also have industry experience? So similarly, career counselors or coaches, they need to be trained, certified.
And I think coming to the next question, there'll be an obvious follow-up again, which is, do I need a career counselor only if my child is studying in an international school and is therefore going to go to a foreign university? Do Indian schools or studying the Indian curriculum, do you see a foreseeable future where a career counselor is also needed if they're going to take an Indian university?
Both. Absolutely. But the myth is, no, I need career guidance or college guidance experts only because I want to go international. Let's understand how many students went international. Like last year, we're looking at about 1 million. And out of how many students graduate from school? About 18 or 19 million. So out of 19 million, let's say, only 1 million go abroad.
Wow.
Let's look at the number. So 19 million and 1 million, which means what are we doing about the 18 million who are staying in the country? Do we have enough coaches, career guidance experts? No.
We don't.
No way.
Interesting.
So therefore, and let's look at what could be part of a student. Let's say I'm now in grade 12. Forget about international, Indian, whatever. Now I am like, what am I going to do after 12th? What course should I pursue? Clear? Very simple. Oh, let me understand the curriculum. What am I going to be taught in the university? Next, maybe I'm interested in this course, but if not this, then maybe this, then maybe this. Thank you.
Right.
Next, what kind of universities provide that program? Then let's look at those universities. It could be India, it could be abroad, wherever.
Yeah.
Next is, am I eligible? Do I make the cut? And if not, then what else is required?
Right.
Next is, what's the selection criteria? Okay, do I fit the bill? So eligibility and selection. Next, what kind of paperwork is required? Documentation.
Yes.
Next, wow, is it an entrance test? In India, mostly everything has an entrance test.
Yeah.
So I need to, what is the entrance test? What's the pattern I need to prepare? Next, is it followed by an interview? Does it require profile? Profile, no profile? Are they looking at extracurricular, co-curriculars and so on? That's how. So tell me, will a career counselor or a career coach is required? Absolutely. But if all this is available within the school, why would they venture out?
Yeah.
Yes, there'll still be those parents who'll be like, wow, the school is doing a fab job, but I still want something extra. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's their choice.
Right.
But why should each student be forced because they don't have it within the school?
Right. Right.
So,
Interesting that you say that, and you know that gets me to the question of, are we looking at a very obvious path of, if it's international schools, therefore my child has no scope in India?
wow. How many
did
times?
I just kill it? Like, have you answered this like a million times, or?
Especially in the last few years. So there is a big myth that has to. Yes, if you had asked me this question about 15 years back, I would say yes. If you do international curriculum, you study international curriculum, your choices in India will be limited.
Right.
Today, no, not at all. But this myth that, oh my God,
So
just
what are
because.
your choices?
So my choices are like, for example,
Because you're
say,
already putting a cross on the competitive exams which drive the
I can
country.
write all the competitive exams. So, for example, I'm studying in a IB or a Cambridge curriculum, right?
If you are studying in an IB and Cambridge, does the JEE and the NEET then make sense?
Again, oh my God! Now you're making it super difficult for me. Okay, so it's question number 1, 2. Now further another loaded question. So let's understand. I'm an international curriculum student studying in India, and I want to stay in India. For example, the family or I made a choice. Can I pursue management in India? Absolutely. Can I do design, fashion, art, management, you name it, anything, everything. Now I want to study STEM.
Right.
I want to do STEM in India. Can I do that? Absolutely, you can do that. Okay. But how has this been made possible? When we look at conventional universities, good old universities, let's look at Delhi University for that matter.
Right.
In the good old days, they would not wait for the results, okay? And then you have to say that, okay, equivalence and so on. And then, no, because you've been taught in a certain way, in an international curriculum, why would you go back to rote learning again? Because the college exams is that a problem? Yes, that's going to be a concern. Because today you've given me so much of space and flexibility to say, listen, I can have A answer, you can have B answer, you can have C. All of us have a very different perspective on the question. Now, that's a challenge which an international curriculum student can feel in a very conventional university in the country. Right. Where you again go back to rote learning. But is that a deal breaker? No, it can be a challenge. However, let's look at the other way. All the modern age universities, it'll be a breeze for international students to study in India. And these modern age universities can be, as I'm talking to you, can be about 40, 50 in India. And as we are growing...
Do we have 40, 50?
We have 40, 50 modern age universities in the country today.
Yeah.
And one modern age university is being set up. The others are changing. The others are also changing in the process. So therefore, as the next question that you asked me about JEE and NEET, yes, that is slightly challenging. How challenging? Your entire JEE or NEET, the exam pattern is based on CBSE curriculum.
Right.
Right? Now, I am in an international curriculum. Can I apply? Am I eligible?
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Can I write the exam? Yes. But to prepare for that exam while you're doing, your international curriculum, yes, it's going to be challenging. But my question is, why only medicine? Okay. I can do the same medicine anywhere across the world. Am I eligible? Yes. But now let me say I want to do medicine in India, right? Then why would I? There's a choice that you have. So you have a choice in your later, which is your 11th or 12th. You could choose to study in an Indian curriculum if you are absolutely 100% clear that that's the only career that I have.
Right.
That's the only career I have. If you're that clear, then you can go.
You can switch, is what you're saying.
Yeah, you can switch. You can switch in your last.
So from your international curriculum in grade 11 and 12, you make the switch.
If that is if.
Okay.
That is if you want that. Otherwise, if not medicine, let's look at, for example, if not JEE. Okay, let's say I've not been able to crack JEE. Can I write SAT and apply to all the private universities in the country, in India, engineering? Absolutely.
Right.
So straight away through SAT, you can apply. You can write their own individual exams. You can write JEE. All those possibilities are there.
Right.
So therefore, it's not like it's a big. A lot of parents ask me, Parikshit, international curriculum, that means automatically India's out. No way. No way. And if you're so hell-bent that, okay, my student is born for only one purpose in life, that is need. I'm sorry, then why is it that you have to study go through a lovely curriculum, enjoy, and then come back to rote learning again?
Right.
That's a choice they have to make.
Should parents be looking at options outside of India? Or when you said that we have grade 40 to 50 universities, do you what are the kind of options that we have today, and which would be your top 5?
So, for example, as a student, whether I'm studying economics, accounts, business studies, physics, chemistry, bio, math, or history, political science, geography, psychology, sociology, whatever, do I have all the options available in India? Absolutely. You can do a single major, double major, you can do a major minor combination. All those possibilities are there.
Right.
Easily. And you'd rather do well in those universities. Why? Because now let me give you the example. I am trained in a CBSE curriculum. And please, I'm making it very clear. I'm not saying that CBSE is not a great curriculum, but I'm just kind of trying to create a differentiator. I'm a CBSE student. I score marks. I just do very well in the exam, right? But I've never been made to research, critically analyze text, right? I've never gone through those thought-provoking essays. I've not written much. I've not done that, right? Critical thinking, inquiry. I've not been put through the test. Now I'm sent to a great liberal-ed university in India. Now they say, great, read, research, come up with your answers. Show us your perspective, think, critically analyze text. And I'm like, hold on. You never taught me this way. You straight away tell me which book, what to read. I'll mug it up and come and write the answer. So an Indian curriculum student can have a huge challenge. Right. International curriculum student will say, we've been doing it for donkey years.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Your top 5 Indian universities.
If you talk about, so I would say top 5, but I'll kind of give you an idea. So for example, if we look at, say somewhere, let's start with North India. When we start with North India, somewhere near Sonipat, you will have an Ashoka, you'll have an OP Jindal, and then you move slightly towards Noida, you'll have...
You want to break that down by streams or choice of subjects or...
My God.
A child who's looking at...
So OP Jindal, if you say, started with something called law. That's how it started. And then it gradually went on. Today, when you look at that university, you will look at global politics, you will look at law, business management, everything possible under the sun.
Right.
Then you will move to Ashoka. Ashoka, again, known for STEM now, of course, but economics, finance, political science, psychology, all those areas. Then, so again, pure liberal ed. Then you would move to something called Shiv Nadar. Shiv Nadar, again, very strong engineering.
Yeah.
Then you'll have your pure research. You'll also have pure research, business management, and then, of course, political science and so on. Then let's go to Mohali, a new university which is making waves is Plaksha. Plaksha is also going to be a cutting edge university, research university, and again, STEM. Then from here, let's move to, let's say, somewhere in Pune, we look at the Flame. Then, of course, then Mumbai or Christ University,
Yeah.
NMIMS. NMIMS and all, they've been there.
Yeah.
Bangalore, you'll have Azim Premji,
Yeah.
another very well university, again, good for research. So similarly, you'll have many other universities. My God, so many of them. Jagran Lake University in Bhopal is doing amazing work, and especially in media, hospitality, design, so many other things.
Right.
But there are so many other. Mahe Manipal is doing good work. Kriya is also well known in the circle. So yeah.
Right.
The moment they are in 8th or 9th or the crucial exit year, which is called 10th, they would say, Parikshit, that's it. You know,
A
we wanted
purposeful
them
adult.
to develop a great personality, time management, learn to be independent. Very good, it's all done. But now, from a career perspective, sorry, we have to bring them back.
Why is that?
Again, it's like, hi, so independent, absolutely great. You have a lovely routine. There is so much bonding, family, extracurricular, co-curricular, this thing. But when it comes to, again, career shaping, that's where they miss out. And many of them miss out. There are few schools which take a lot of pride that if you want to come to our school, come for development.
So why do parents want to pull their kids back when it's the crucial years?
So we were talking about that, the overall holistic development. Yes, extracurriculars, co-curriculars, you're having fun, you're able to manage yourself in an independent setup. Great. But when it comes to career guidance, is to what now? What next? Are they parents want that if we are sending you to a particular school, we want that by the time you exit, you make something out of your life.
And they feel they will not?
Or from a career perspective, there are challenges. Like, for example, say, let's look at a normal routine for a kid. Getting up in the morning, and then there's school, and then there are so many other activities. And of course, so many activities happen at a residential school. So where is the possibility for you to write, I mean, in case you have to write these admission tests, entrance tests, SAT, APs, and you also have so many other things to take care. And then, of course, your academics, interview preparation, essays, and so on, both India and abroad.
Right. Last of the few questions. The first thing that you mentioned, on the kind of balance, right? And parents pulling their kids out of boarding schools because they feel there's too much emphasis on everything that they sent their kids to boarding school for, which was discipline, sports, extracurricular. Suddenly there's a pullback of string in the crucial years. Again, how important will that be from a student graduating from any school, residential or otherwise?
Academics, you can't ignore. I'm sorry. Either we are producing champions, whether sports, performing arts,
Right.
Music, I mean, you name anything. We are not. We academics cannot take it. It can't take us.
The weightage won't change. The weightage will always be academics.
Always. You apply to the, like, look at Singapore. Singapore straight away says, you want to come and study with us? Show us academics. UK, 10th class, 12th class marks, great. Give us great grades. US, you apply to the topmost universities. Of course, profile has weightage, but will they ignore academics? No. So why are we running away? Academics is the central point.
Right.
And then we say, wow, we've got one thing arranged. They need to be strong. And we are not saying everyone, when we say strength of academics, is only scoring grades. No, it's understanding and what you do. So, for example, for someone to say, I want to study business management, very good. But how about having an entrepreneurial club in your school? Next, reading about business icons than having a business mindset in the sense, or you're trying to solve a local or a global problem. Why do I have to wait for to be in mid 20s and 30s? Why can't I think for that when I'm 14 or 15?
Are we expecting too much out of 14 and 15-year-olds?
They're the ones
Did
who
we
are,
do that when we were 14 and 15?
yeah, but look at it. They're the ones who are shaping and shaping the world.
So were we.
Yeah.
But we didn't do that.
No, I'm not saying it should be forced on them, but they are doing it.
And when they don't do that, what happens?
Each to his own. Why is it that everyone has to be a math specialist? There's someone who cannot deal with math, but they'll be good somewhere else. There's someone who's into not wanting to play sports, but is an avid reader. The other one cannot read to save his or her life, is purely into sports. So each, but then they all need to be given that environment that you can flourish. You don't have to copy paste. You don't have to copy each other. You are all individuals. You're all born different.
Right. Thank you so much for chatting with us.
For parenting tips, celebrity interviews, recipes, conversations with experts, DIYs, and lots more. Subscribe to Kids Talk Press now.